Hello, and welcome to another episode of Fiber Mates. My name is Gay, and I'm here today with Susanna Kaartinen. Hi, Susanna.
Hi, Gayan. Nice to be with you again.
I know, it's fun to get together like this.
Yeah.
We don't live super close, so...
Well, only an hour, but...
Wow. It's not like you're around the corner.
No.
Yeah. Before we get started today, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we are recording, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, and pay my respects to their elders, past and present. We're starting a new series of technique deep dives.
I think we'll be running this through the whole year.
We've got plans for 4 episodes, and today is the first of those 4. So this year we are tackling sweater construction. There's lots of different ways to construct a sweater, but we've broken it down basically into 4 main categories.
And more to do with the shoulder shaping and what are the sort of basic styles of sweaters that knitters like to make, and what most of the patterns kind of fall into those categories.
And today we're going to be talking about raglans.
Yeah.
So we're both wearing tops that are raglan construction because at its most basic level, raglan constructions have a neckline, or they're defined by this diagonal increase line that runs from the neckline
to the underarm.
down.
And technically it's not even an increase line in it where it is a shaping line, but you can actually just have a seam line if it's a
That's right.
sewn garment. So it's just a design line and how the pattern pieces in the case of these 2 tops are put together. So there's no seams at the top of the shoulder. There's just 4 seams along the fronts and then the back, same. So but obviously we'll be focusing more on the knitting side of things. But it was just fun to show you like other examples of raglan, because it's not just a knitting term. No,
it's actually really versatile garment construction. So anything from athletic tops like I'm wearing to dressier and more formal tops like Susanna has on. We're starting with raglan construction because it's one of the most, I'm going to say basic. There are nuances to it that we'll talk about throughout the episode today. But
it's a good starting point for garment construction and for garment knitting.
Yeah, so if you haven't knit a sweater before, raglans are a really good choice. And I'm also super excited because we're going to share with you Susanna's latest design, which is the Noble sweater.
Which is actually peeking through right there. Should I pull it out now, or
let's
just tease it for now?
Oh, should we tease it? We'll tease it because it's part of the Bendigo project, which has just been announced, and the patterns will be released I think soon. I'm not sure exact date that the podcast is coming out, but it'll be around that time.
So we will reveal the collection on the 1st of March, so I'm guessing this will come out after that, and the patterns are released on the 28th of March, which is also the date when Gayan is actually hosting the Cast On Zoom party with us. So that's a Saturday, 28th of March, 7:30 p.m.
Zoom link for that will be available on Instagram
and probably on our website.
Perfect.
As well. Making a lot of promises here for things that time. So it's late January as we're speaking. So there's still a bit of organising and planning to do, but we're really looking forward to it.
So join us. Make sure you join us. All right, should we get stuck into raglans?
All right, let's do that.
I did a bit of Googling and found out the history of the raglan sweater, and it comes from well, it was actually, like many things, born out of necessity and tragedy. So let me just get his name correct. Fitzroy James Henry Somerset, 1st Baron Raglan, was from England and was involved in the Battle of Waterloo, and he tragically lost his arm in that skirmish. And that was in 1815. So surviving that kind of injury would be, no mean feat.
In those times.
In those times, yeah. But he did, and his tailor invented the raglan seam to have a garment that would help him dress more easily with his amputated arm.
So apparently it allowed for a wider range of motion. I was trying to think, I don't actually remember what the shirt style would have been like back then.
Well, I reckon it would have been quite similar to the one that you have on in terms of for a cloth garment.
Yeah.
Perhaps with buttons down the front.
But in terms of what the difference is, this is now a raglan, so maybe his would have been something like this, but with a collar and without all the pretty details.
Without the pretty details, I reckon it might have been more.
But I was just wondering what the shirt style would have been otherwise, how it fitted.
The alternative, what was too hard for him to dress in.
Yeah.
Perhaps it was a button down, right? Which might be more difficult.
Quite feel like if it was a set-in sleeve, it would be quite fitted and restrictive.
That's right.
Yeah.
Where this, it's just over the top.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and there's a little bit more space around this area.
Here.
Yeah.
So that's the history of where we got raglan shaping from. So maybe we'll go into, I guess, some of the main features. Raglan sweaters can have positive ease, significant positive ease, or they can be more fitted.
Yeah.
I think the more fitted they are, perhaps the more difficult it is to get this line correct across the range of sizes.
Yeah, I would say
would
so.
make grading a bit more difficult, but it's possible.
Yeah.
I don't.
And maybe the bust area shaping becomes more critical when.
That's right. You
when
might
you
need
have a very fitted line, because then you kind of need to allow for that extra room.
That's right. Actually, because that's. Well, I'll get to that when we talk about fit.
A bit more.
The main points of the raglan would be the left and right front, where that meets the shoulder, and the left and the right back, where that meets the shoulder. And those are generally marked with, you would generally mark them with a stitch marker to mark those places.
Yeah.
Raglans can be knit top down. That's very, very common for them to be knit top down. They can also be knit bottom up. That works as well. There's a bit more, when you do them bottom up, you have to knit the sleeves first. So that does require
body and sleeves.
Body and sleeves.
So you have to understand your measurements a little bit better if you want a very specific fit
on the sleeve.
Because you can't just use your underarm measurement, because raglan is often a little bit further down than your actual underarm. So if you don't know how much lower it is, then it's hard to judge the sleeve length. But there are tricks for that as well, on how to calculate what length you actually need for the sleeves as well.
We can talk about that when we talk about mobile.
Yeah, I've actually included that tip in that pattern. So
the third way they can be done is to do them in pieces and seam it.
Yeah. So raglan construction doesn't really dictate the other methods. So you can combine a lot of different things, and even like working in the round, top or bottom up, or in pieces. Like it doesn't often these terms can get a little bit mixed up.
Mm-hmm.
And I think these days they are most often worked in the round, but they are not the same thing. Like they can be separated as well.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
So if we talk about, like, say your traditional top-down construction, sometimes you will start by knitting the collar or the turtleneck. You could also have a V-neck, in which case you might actually start with a shoulder. Just thinking, if I was going to design a V-neck raglan, you might really be better doing that bottom up.
Or you would have to kind of work flat first.
And do like, not short rows, but it's more like a...
not short rows, but just a flat shaped piece.
Yeah, but it can be done.
Yeah.
There are V-neck raglans. I haven't made one, but they're out there.
Yeah, actually, an example is the Alma.
Oh, then I have knit one. Here's my Alma. I was thinking of in the round rather than, but it was in the round.
It was in the round, but it is bottom up. But it could be done just as well.
Yeah.
Top down as well. Yeah, it was worked in the round, but then it was steeped.
That's right.
Steeped open. But for me, I kind of think of raglan as not really a V-neck. Like as a jumper, I don't know if it's a personal preference in terms of visuals, but I prefer raglans with a crew neck or a round neck shape. It seems to kind of like naturally suit the method.
It lends itself to that, and I think because, like, I find them maybe a bit more sporty. If that's
so
a
fairly
good
like
adjective.
a casual look more often than a dressy look. Yeah,
I'd probably say that even. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah.
So then, if you're going top down, although sometimes you might add the neck at the end. Sometimes, depending on how the pattern is written.
Yeah, that's actually a great way to adjust fit. Because with the neckline, you can actually. So to preface, a big factor in how your jumper fits you is how it sits on your shoulders and fits around your neck and shoulders. That's kind of the foundation of the fit. So if you don't knit the neckline right away, you even block it and see how it sits on you, then you can, with the neckline, you can actually adjust the fit by making it more open or more tight to support the garment. So that's why I do like that construction. It's a little bit more fiddly, but not by a lot. But it just gives you a little bit of flexibility to adjust the fit. So, just a little tidbit there.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
Then as you work down, you might put short rows around the back of the garment, which when I was thinking about how to explain this, people always say, short rows lift the back of the neck.
It's a very common way to conceptualize it. But
it actually adds shaping in the front.
Yeah, that's the kind of the idea, is because your neck is always like kind of it's not straight. Like you're not. Yeah. So you want to create space for your neck at the front. And with raglan, if you don't do that, it's going to be cutting across here, and it can feel, depending on how big the opening is, but it can feel a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah. If it's cutting right up here.
Yeah.
Right.
So the short rows are actually creating the shape to open the neckline at the front. And that's why this getting a little bit technical, and there's definitely schools of thought about where the short rows should be and in which order and all of that, but my take on it is that they should be always at the front of the garment, because you are shaping the front of the neck.
Mm-hmm.
And if you leave them here, which is another way of sort of approaching it, then you really are just adding height here at the back. But it's not really...
You run the risk of it still having that that kind of choking fit that some people don't like. I do like a tight crew neck.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm weird, but that's I've seen that like as a complaint from people about garments.
Yeah, it is. Or alternatively, if the neckline's a little bit more open, then you kind of get that cold neck feeling, like the neckline is not coming.
Doesn't come all the way
up. Yeah, like I have that as an example. The rekki doesn't have any short row shaping, mainly because of these wide design lines. There wasn't really room to add it, and there's plenty of space at the front, but it also means that same space is at the back.
Yeah.
And because it's a really warm jumper, I really feel it at the back of my neck. I always want to wear something either under it or scarf or something to
like a
cover
skivvy,
that. Yeah,
skivvy
to cover that part as well. But those are the sort of little design choices that you make.
Yeah, and I think that's probably one of the hardest parts about designing things. Like you have a grand plan about pattern or design or texture, but then it's the little things like that, like how do you incorporate short rows when I want to do this beautiful raglan shaping.
Might just make it either more challenging, which makes it really hard for a designer, like makes it hard to write the pattern. Where it could be done, and experienced knitters can then go, well, I want to add them, so I will, and I know how to do it, which is totally
go for your life.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's one of the most amazing things about knitting is that you get a pattern, but really the pattern is like a recipe that you would use to bake a cake.
Yeah, you alter it to suit your body and your style.
Right.
I think,
you might want a chocolate cake or you might want a strawberry cake. Yeah. So take out the chocolate and add the strawberry.
Yeah. Exactly. That's right.
Sorry, we were just talking about the pattern on the increase line. I keep calling it an increase line. Is there a better
shaping? Maybe, or I sometimes call it a raglan line.
Okay. We're going to talk about the main feature, the main distinguishing feature, which is the raglan line.
Yeah.
That goes from the collar to the underarm.
Or the other way.
Or the underarm to the collar, which I'm doing right now. And I actually quite love, I love raglan construction. It's probably my favorite.
Yeah, I do as well. And I've designed, probably most of my jumpers are actually raglan construction, I think. Side note.
When you start from the top and you're working down, you get to here, and it's the most stitches that you have, right? Before you separate for sleeves. And as a garment knitter, I find that to be the hardest part because it takes longer to get around the row, to do the row, and I get impatient. I want this I want the garment now. But when it's bottom up, you're decreasing. Yeah. And the rows get faster and faster. So that's it's really satisfying.
I prefer working the actual yoke bottom up because it does feel like you're gaining momentum as you're working it, because it's just becoming smaller and faster.
Yeah. It's funny how these kind of like mental tricks or psychological psychology of knitting. So the raglan lines, like I said, I think I've already mentioned this before, there's 4 points. So generally there's either 8 increases or 8 decreases as you're going around, if you are decreasing at each point. But these increase lines can be either very plain or incredibly ornate, and we have some examples. So this is a test knit I did for Kristen Finley from Skein Yarn. It's the Luca sweater, and this is, I think, a 2-stitch stockinette raglan line. And as I hold it up here, I don't think you can actually even see it.
Because of the mild fabric as well.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, same. This is my first jumper design actually, and it is a raglan, but raglan is not the main feature. So
and because this one, Viva,
yeah. Again, mild fabric, you can hardly even see it. That one has 4 stitches as the line.
Yeah, so, but you can also perhaps see if I've got it up.
Does
that
that one
kind
have
of
short
shape?
rows?
It does have some short rows.
Yeah, this one as well.
They're here, so this is the front. Pretty sure.
Yeah, it's really hard to see the detail in it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a little bit, yeah. And this one might be the best example where they actually show up a little bit more. So that's the Alma cardigan, and that's the back of it. And this one doesn't have any short rows because it's a V-neck, so the neck is already open. You don't really need them for that. So that one's maybe showing the detail of the...
Oh yeah, you can see it.
Yeah, that's just stockinette.
Just there.
And they are decreases in this one.
Mm-hmm.
And there's 4 lines, but you're kind of, like you said, you're usually decreasing at 8 points. So you're shaping the front, you're shaping the sleeves and the backs and on the 2 edges, so that creates 8. But it doesn't mean that they are always going
at the same rate.
And grading for different sizes. There are a couple of maybe in the sort of smaller end of the size range where you can kind of just have an equal increase rate and the proportions work out really well. But as soon as you start grading for the larger sizes, it's very hard to actually make the proportions work, so you do have to start turning it into a compound raglan just to fit all the shaping in. Yeah, basically.
Because if you're, and I'll just talk about it from top down, if you're increasing and you're increasing here, if you increase the same rate in the body as you do in the sleeve, your sleeve will end up being ginormous. Especially if you need to increase more for the body. And that's where the compound raglan will come in, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah, is that for later?
That's
as
like
well?
the dessert.
I think we're doing it again. We're throwing in all these terms.
No, that's all right. You've got, that's a really pretty
decorative one.
Yeah, like I've got this one is brioche. People have seen this one before.
Yeah,
it's my
and this one.
This is the Cloud Watching sweater by Sosu Knits, which did a brioche. 1, 2, 3. I think it's probably 6 stitch.
Yeah,
brioche raglan.
And this one's the Retki sweater by me, and that's even wider, but that's actually a brioche type detail as well.
I love it.
Where you have a wider raglan line, and then you have the shaping like spaced apart a little bit more, and it just creates a stronger detail. And an extreme version of that would be the EXP, where the raglan lines have been like...
They like are the sweater.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? I love this design. I've knit 2. I think I've knit 2 of these already.
So a very exaggerated raglan design where they're actually joining at the front and back and the top of the sleeve as well. But I would still call this a raglan because it does have that strong diagonal line across it.
And actually Jubal is a really good, because that has a cable, doesn't it?
The raglan line doesn't. The cable is just
on
along
the
the
bottom
side, but it is a little bit more more of a design feature because it is a stockinette line in the middle of seat stitch, so you get these.
And it transitions into the cable down the side seamlessly. So, and by seamlessly, I mean just it runs straight into it.
Yeah, it kind of grows cable.
Yeah.
Now the bottom up. I do a lot of bottom.
It's good. It's good because we get that really satisfying yoke. Like,
yeah, exactly.
And do you know what else about a bottom up raglan is? There's no sleeve island because you have to make the sleeves before you attach them.
And I find they are easier to knit when you don't have the whole garment hanging off the sleeve.
That's true.
I actually don't like knitting sleeves last because of that.
They're very portable. They actually, it's like having just kind of a big sock project, right?
Yeah. And a lot of knitters like to knit them at the same time, so it's kind of like knitting two socks at a time.
Yeah,
so they're just kind of, and you could even start with them, the sleeves.
Oh yeah. So they're ready and waiting when you finish the body.
Yeah. And you can just zoom off.
And if you're doing it as a sleeve, it kind of is a good gauge swatch.
Yeah, if you don't want to swatch and you're pretty confident that it's going to work close enough, then you can just start with the sleeves.
Yeah, so you've got an idea.
Yeah.
And
I
then
actually
if
did that with my Noble jumper.
Yeah. Well, I think why not?
I had to knit 3 sleeves in the end, but I did start with a sleeve. Whatever.
Look, anybody that thinks that designers don't just sit down and knit a sweater and it comes out perfectly and then you just write up your pattern and everybody loves it.
No.
It doesn't happen that way.
Yeah, for example, a Noble, this is a bit of a side note, but yeah, I knit 3 sleeves and 2 yokes. So I almost knit
2 yokes.
Yeah, I tried to make it into a saddle shoulder first. Or like the saddle shoulder raglan combo. Well, we're talking about that another time a bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, it didn't end up being a saddle shoulder. I wasn't happy with the fit. So now it is a compound raglan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last example I think I want to show of the raglan lines is this one. This is a little jumper my mom knit, so I don't know the pattern name. I'm really sorry. I wish I could actually, because it's quite cute, little cardigan cropped that I love to wear with skirts.
Oh yeah.
And it's short sleeve, so I can wear it when it's warmer, or I just put a long sleeve underneath it when it's cooler. But you can see that this has like lace along the raglan edge.
And is that top down?
I don't know, because Mum made it.
Let me see. Yeah, it's top down. So instead of an increase, you just you're just making a yarn over, and it just naturally grows out of it. Yeah. Yeah, and there are so many other ways you could.
Because I was thinking if it was bottom up, it would be knit 2 together.
You'd have to do knit 3 together and a yarn over to get the like you're kind of fighting against.
Yeah, so top down would actually be way easier because you just yarn over and that's it. You've got your increase.
The only thing is if the rate would change, then you'd have to and you want that.
Have it.
If you want that even row of eyelets, if your increase rate changes, you will have to then do a little bit of trickery around it too.
I reckon, because it's otherwise you would end up with huge sleeves, depending on how wide the body needed to be.
Yeah, and also not just the change of rate between body and sleeves, but sometimes, which technically makes it a compound raglan, is when you're changing the rate of the shaping in one piece, like in the body, for example, body front, when you change the rate of shaping along the piece, in different parts, you're shaping, basically it's changing the angle of the raglan line, which is sometimes necessary to be able to fit, for example, all the shaping in a particular yoke depth.
Yeah.
So that goes into, kind of partly goes into the fit, how it fits and
Yeah.
the grading.
Before we get into compound raglan, in my research for this episode, I found a website that had the cons or the drawbacks of raglans, and I was like, what? There aren't any. Anyway, there were some.
And I had some comments about though.
Did you?
Yeah,
So,
just a couple. Yeah.
The one criticism of it was that it doesn't have a lot of structure. So when you have a maybe a drop shoulder or like a set-in, or one with a set-in sleeve, a sweater with a set-in sleeve, there might be a seam in the shoulder that then there's seams around. Seam at the top of the shoulder, seams around the shoulder that give the garment more structure.
And the neckline potentially.
And the neckline. So, but the criticism of the raglan in that respect was that it didn't have that structure, so it might not be as durable.
Well, that's actually, that was the first one. I was like, nah, not necessarily. Because if you do work a raglan in pieces, you do have seams.
You would have seams.
Here. So that, I think that was my spiel about they're not the same thing as working in the round, even though they often are.
Yeah.
Is that raglan can have more structure than worked in the round raglan would.
Yeah.
If you have the firm seams along the lines and the neckline.
Yeah.
But obviously it's still different than having all the structure, but
Yeah.
just a little caveat there.
And the other criticism was that the sweater could twist depending on what it was knit with. And I've knit several sweaters in the round, and I've never had issues with it because you're knitting. I'll back up. When you knit in the round, you're knitting basically a tube. Right? So it's never actually a complete circle. You're always adding a stitch to the top of the next row. And I think what the criticism was is that depending on what kind of fiber you work with, if you knit because it's really chopped down for the entire way, that the sweater could twist. Now that could be a problem with the circular yokes, but circular yokes are a podcast for another day.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure what that was about.
I've never come across that.
Have you ever had a sweater twist?
No. I have, this is just a sort of gut reaction to it, but it almost sounds like that could be a yarn balance issue.
I thought that as well.
Because with the unbalanced single ply yarn, sometimes if you knit just stockinette, you get that twisting. But I don't think that's anything to do with the construction specifically.
Yeah. Anyway, have you had a sweater twist on you? If you have, let us know in the comments because it's a new kind of phenomenon for us.
Yeah, but definitely if you have a yarn that tends to do that, then any construction where you're just working in the round,
maybe avoid that.
Yeah.
And knit something flat.
Yeah.
And seamed.
Yeah. Interesting though.
Yeah.
That was a new one.
Yeah. Sorry, dog flapping if you heard that. The other drawback, which I don't even think is a drawback, was the less tailored fit of a raglan. But
yeah, that's a feature.
Yeah, I love that feature. I love how the diagonal lines lead to a boxy body. I love a boxy body. But you can have a tailored raglan, but it all boils down to shaping, and this is where we get into the compound raglan. So
all right,
take it away.
All right, I'll use the Noble as an example of the compound raglan. So basically all it needs, I already kind of said a little bit about it, but it means that you are not creating a straight line, you are creating a line that has some changes in the direction. And I actually didn't realize any change in the direction makes it a compound. I thought the compound was actually when it creates an S shape, but I think that is incorrect.
Isn't the S shape more of the saddle
Well, where's
shoulder
the line?
raglan?
Well, where's the line?
Because then it goes
Yeah.
here and then down, like it's here.
Well,
and then
saddle
down.
shoulder, just to explain what we're talking about, with like a proper saddle shoulder, you're actually going in just the body first, so you're shaping just the body first. Then the next step is you don't do any shaping on the body, you do all the shaping in the sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
And then the final step is where you switch back again and you do shaping in the body and no shaping in the sleeve. So that's how you create that, really.
Because a saddle shoulder is like a straight piece here,
Yeah.
right? And then down, and then
Yeah.
there would be a little bit of shaping down here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's a pure sort of saddle shoulder. It has very kind of sharp angles.
There's an example out there that I found called the Raglan sweater by Albina McLaughlin. So that's like a true saddle raglan.
But whereas with this one, even though it does have a bit of that shaping where there's like a sharper line or more angle line here at the top of the shoulder and a softer angle here, but then it's a little bit steeper again here, just to give it a slightly more tailored fit. And often doing a little bit more angled shaping here in the body, especially for larger sizes, just it takes off a little bit of that bulk that you might otherwise have in this portion.
I just want to explain as well, when we're talking about body increases, like if you look at my t-shirt, the body increase or decrease would occur in the gray section.
Oh yeah, that's
whereas the sleeve shaping would occur in the green section. So if you're knitting across here, you go knit, 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 knit. Work your shaping, increase or decrease. Work whatever, in the noble, it's just stockinette for that part. And then work the shaping for the sleeve. You work around the sleeve shaping, raglan stitches, like the lines, then body, and then around and do it again.
Yeah, that's actually, I'm glad you explained that, because that's a really important concept to kind of understand with raglan shaping, is that there's a few, if you're going away from the very simple 8 decreases per round every second round, which might be like a very sort of basic standard, which can achieve a good fit in a few sizes only. So the compound comes in when you are grading for larger sizes, because if you had the same rate of working increases every second round or decreases, you have so many more stitches to add or get rid of that the yoke depth would start growing.
That's right.
Out of
I wonder
hand.
if we could actually do the math. Hold on. So if you had a sweater that needed 100 stitches, I'm just using round figures, right? And your neckline started with 80 stitches. So you'd have to increase your raglan by 20 stitches, divided by 8. Well, that doesn't actually divide by 8, but
2.5.
So you'd need only 2.5 rows, right? But if you're at 80 stitches and you need 300 stitches to go around, say, your largest size,
Yeah.
right? Then that's 220 stitches that you need to increase. Divide that by 8, then you've got 20, roughly.
Bad math.
Yeah, it's almost 30. Call it 30 increases.
Or 30 rows.
30 rows, right? Versus 2.5 rows. Like, that's not...
Yeah,
you're not that much longer
Yeah.
in the body,
Yeah.
even if you're that much wider. Like,
Yeah. And the reason for that sort of... why that happens, why you have so many more stitches to increase or decrease, is that your neck and shoulder size doesn't increase at the same rate as your body circumference.
Yeah.
So you need to have more dramatic shaping, if that's a good word for it.
Yeah.
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 So that's the reason why well, I'll talk about just my patterns, because that's what I know. That's what I'll do. I will add the extra shaping in the bottom part of the raglan line, so they'll be a little bit more curved on the body side. And the sleeves kind of work with the same principle, but usually sleeves are a little bit less problematic, shall we say.
Yeah.
They tend to be a little bit easier to adjust across the size range. Yeah, that's actually a really good way to adjust, because that's one of the common adjustments that are needed, especially when you go into larger sizes, is the circumference of your upper arm. That can vary quite a lot between different people, even
That's
if your
right.
body circumference is the same.
Yeah.
So I think what you were saying is that if you do need a little bit more room in the arm, but you don't want to do any math, you can just use a larger needle size when you're working the arm.
Not like a hugely large needle size,
maybe
right?
just like
maybe
one.
like one size up.
One size up.
It's not really going to, in the grand scheme of things, impact your gauge all that much, but it'll give you just that little bit extra.
Yeah.
And it's just a nice way to be able to modify without math.
Yeah, yeah. Because any other modification, you kind of do need to start calculating things.
Yeah.
And with raglan yoke, actually, something to point out, that often in knitting, stitch gauge is important and row gauge is kind of a little bit less important, but when you're working raglans, the row gauge does matter a lot in how a sweater fits, because that will define the depth of your yoke. So if it is different from the pattern, then it's a good idea to
check it.
To check it and understand how much it will change it, and then maybe look at what your fit preference is, what the yoke depth, because there's actually a lot of variety between designers and between patterns on how deep the yoke is. Some designers like to do quite deep yokes and others shallow. So
Yeah, and I think that's really important, because if you have a yoke that's too deep, your armholes come out lower, and when you raise your arms, like, up comes your sweater.
Yeah, and
like,
it's especially important if you have a tighter fitting sweater, like it actually starts to constrict the movement.
Yeah.
So if you have for example, you have a pattern that's recommending a certain amount of ease, and if it is on the generous side, it's likely then that the yoke is a little bit deeper as well. And if you then decide that you like the design but you want a more fitted look for yourself, then that's something to really be mindful that if the yoke is deep, you're gonna feel a little bit constricted, and it's like having that extra skin between your toes.
Yes, I was just about to say, you're like flapping your legs or something. Right?
It's not a good fit.
I did a pretty big modification on my Noble. So I'm knitting a Noble sweater right now at the moment. I really wanted it to be done for today, but
so close.
I am so close. But I have started with a size 4 body, but I wanted a wider fit, but my shoulders are pretty narrow, so I wanted the size 3 top. So that's what I've done. And how I've done that is to, work the size 4, but as I've done this split hem, there's a round hem and a split hem option in the pattern. It doesn't, I'm shy to show it because I feel like it doesn't look amazing on the needles, and yours looks so good.
Oh, well, it's blocked. It's blocked, that's why. That's the only difference.
Whoops.
Such a beautiful colour, this one.
I love the color. The yarn is by Fiber Art Shed.
Yeah, it's the same yarn base
Yeah.
as that one. Just a different colour.
So I've started with the size 4, and what I did is I did the cable placement of the size 3, so it looks, and I just did that by adding additional stitches at the edges of the pattern, and then I worked out how many stitches the size 4 had at the underarm area, and how many stitches the size 3 did. That difference, I decreased that number of stitches every so often as I was working the body in the round, so that by the time I got to add on my sleeves, which I knit in a size 3, then I had the right number of stitches to commence the underarm round with the size 3 instructions.
So it's basically a size 3 everywhere else except for the width of the hem.
That's right.
Yeah, that'll work nicely.
And that's it works for me as well, because the lower half of my body is wider than the upper half of my body. I think I've had somebody ask about making suggestions about sweaters and body types, which I would love to do, but I feel like it's such a personal topic. But for me, that's why I prefer a wider garment at the bottom, but maybe a little bit more fitted on top. I think that works for my body shape.
So you feel like if you were to go with your bottom size for the top, it
might be a bit too big and might kind of swallow me up. And some sweaters, I think you'll see sweater styles that do have that really oversized fit, but I didn't kind of want that for this. I like that more,
a little bit more
tailored or classic fit.
It's not exactly tailored fit still.
No, but I'm it would be more fitted at the top.
Whereas for my body shape, we're about the same, roughly in the same sort of size category, but I have wider shoulders and a big bust, so I'm a little bit more balanced in terms of top and bottom, in terms of circumference, but I feel like visually I do appear a little bit top heavy, which is one of the reasons why I do like raglan lines. Actually, I think especially for shoulders, not talking about the bust yet, but just wide and square set shoulders, the raglan line kind of softens the shoulder line and creates that sort of a softer diagonal line. And with bust, I've actually heard a lot of different opinions about bust and raglan, especially when it comes to EXP.
Oh yes.
Markets.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see that because it is very
it's very
prominent.
Yeah, it's very prominent, and other women have felt like it really. Well, most women with a bigger bust initially think like, no way, that's not for me. But then a lot of them, once they try it on, feel like, it's actually flattering.
Yeah, I think it is.
Because it does have a slightly curved shape, and it is kind of breaking up the visual bulk of bust area.
It draws the lines
Yeah.
visually this way rather than this
That
way.
Yeah. But I think if you have a very fitted raglan and then you have the lines here, it's kind of like
It might accentuate.
it might actually be accentuating
Yeah.
because it's kind of pointing it,
Yeah.
like creating
like
a wide,
here.
like look here,
Yeah.
and they kind
The
of
framing
like,
of it
yeah,
is-
it's kind of framing it maybe in a way that might not be the best. But I think if you have a nice relaxed fit
Mm-hmm.
and the lines are not like too, I want to say like too horizontal, like they're a little bit more gentle,
Mm-hmm.
then it kind of creates a nice silhouette in my opinion.
Yep. No, I
But
think
yeah.
that too.
Yeah, but these are personal
It is very personal.
preferences for sure.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. And just our experience
Yeah,
with it and what we
yeah.
like.
And also with the different ways of like talking about the angle of the raglan lines and the positioning as well, like how wide set you have them. Like you can kind of play with the shape and the visual effect of the shape as well by how they are positioned and angled on the garment, and how wide do you, for example, how wide the sleeve portion is over the shoulder. Like some designs
that's
it comes really close together, and other designs it comes really far apart. So that can kind of create different looks as well.
This one started really, really close together. So this one, my shoulder on this sweater, there were, counting, maybe there were 6
Yeah.
stitches in the shoulder to start. Whereas,
And that would also be dictating the shape of the neckline
yeah,
as well.
this one starts directly after the, oh wait, no,
Oh, that's the slip. It's a
Sorry.
little bit wider
wrong.
set.
it's much wider set.
Yeah.
So this one's probably 1, 2, 3, 4. Has about 15 stitches in the shoulder. So you can see that's a huge
Yeah.
variation.
There's quite a lot of variation with what you can do. And for example, with the Noble, I have actually used the cables as a guide with the raglan line as well, and the shaping is kind of I've created like a steeper section at like where the cables begin as well.
Well, because that was the next topic, was actually was incorporating your stitch pattern into the raglan.
Yeah.
So to make it like effective. So there's tricks like that, but that's a huge detail. I don't know that the average person would understand how much work it is to design that that delicate element across a size range of 10 sizes.
It adds a challenge.
It's not a simple task.
Yeah, it adds.
I guess is what I'm
saying. Yeah.
And then how did you do it with Jubal? I mean, that was seed stitch,
Yeah, that's
right?
really
A textured pattern
simple.
into the stockinette raglan line. The
The
ragline.
raglan.
You created a new term.
I honestly didn't do any. I didn't consider, because seed stitch is a 2-stitch 2-row pattern.
Yeah.
So I didn't actually consider it in any way because the line is so continuous. If it was more gradual, then maybe it might be worth considering decreasing 2 stitches at a time.
Yeah.
To always have that same like connection point between the.
So the seed stitch always ends at a certain
Yeah, like with brioche.
on the knit or the purl.
Or like with this one, you can see the, fisherman stitch, but the shaping is always, this is top down, the shaping is always 2 stitches at a time, so you get that detail, it's always the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful detail in that sweater.
Yeah, I think in this one it was really important that this detail works, because it's like the main feature of the whole thing is the changing directions.
Maybe I need another one. That's a really fun sweater to knit.
I'm thinking of doing another version of it. Hint, hint.
Oh, I'll wait then.
So I'm kind of playing around with it because I do love it, but yeah, all right, I won't say anything more yet because I'm not even working on it, so
Can
could
we
change.
talk about Ripkey and the brioche one with that, because that would actually be a really fun knit, because you've got stockinette and then you've just got like a little patch of fun with the raglan. So where are the, because we've been talking about like sorry, I'll back up. Is this top down or bottom up?
This is bottom up.
Okay, so when we talk about doing the decreases in the yoke from the bottom up, yeah, decreases.
Yeah.
Where
I always get those confused.
I know. Where are they happening here with the pattern? Are they incorporated in these stitches, or are we working it before we do the decorative part?
So in the yoke, in the raglan shaping, there's no decreases in the shaping panel at all, and it's kind of, if you look at it, it's just continuous lines. Whereas, not related, but in the sleeve shaping, there is actually, you can see the difference. There is shaping.
Ah, yes.
There is shaping.
You can
in
see
the
that
brioche,
shaping in there. Yes.
but also in the stockinette.
Yeah.
But sorry.
Sorry.
But in the raglan, getting excited.
I love it. I see this sweater, and I've worn it before actually. I think I wore that.
Did you have this in New York?
I did. I wore it when I went to Vogue Knit Live, and I really like that sweater.
It's actually my go-to comfy sweater to throw on. Like when I was in Tassie in November, I was wearing this. Every time it was cold, I was wearing this. And it actually wears quite well as well. And it's kind of that, and redki means kind of like an outing, more like a camping type outing, outdoorsy outing. So it was designed with the idea that if you are outdoors and you want to put on something, you just want to throw something warm on, but you're not precious about it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of that casual thing. That was the idea. So it's perfect for that.
But it's just got that detail, like elevates.
Yeah, still like nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, the shaping is right at the edge of the stockinette section, and it's actually going in the opposite direction to how you would think that it should go.
Oh.
So it's not leaning.
It's gonna lean.
It's not leaning like often in these cases the decrease leans in the same direction as the raglan line is going.
Yeah.
Like in this one.
Yeah.
But in this one, because it has all these lines that are already in the direction of the raglan, I didn't want to add another line here. So the shaping is actually going against it.
But it actually just looks like the stockinette ends.
Yeah, that's
like
the idea.
Into the rather than it becoming like a design element.
I wanted to
decreases becoming a design element.
Exactly, that was the idea, that it's kind of hiding as much as it can, but the mild fabric also helps to hide it. But yeah, basically the shaping rate would be very similar to that. There's not a lot of difference in that, but just wanted to keep the brioche the main feature and not add another detail with the shaping. That was the idea.
Yeah,
that makes sense. And I've seen versions of this with the like a higher neckline. That looks really good.
You know I love a turtleneck.
Yeah, one version was just 2 colours, so it makes it even more elevated, and a higher neckline. And I think she might have done like a longer cuff as well. It was like a blue, like a medium blue and a dark blue together. It was really nice.
I'm seeing that marled grey, and I'm just like, ooh, I really like that. Anyway, I'm getting ideas. We've gone through lots of examples, but I'll just mention a few free patterns on Ravelry that are really basic if you want to get started and just do your own really simple raglan sweater.
They're a good starting point.
They are good starting points, and I actually realized I have one of them upstairs because I've knit the Real Easy Raglan by Emily Bolduan. I made it for Larry. And it wasn't the first garment that I made, but I think it was the first top-down seamless garment that I made, and it was great. Fit him really well. Tin Can Knits, their flax sweater is very popular. It's free. And then Florence Miller's Step by Step sweater is also a raglan.
And it's a more recent release, isn't it?
I think so. I think so. And that's all. Those are just free resources if you want to dabble with some really basic raglans if you haven't already done that.
One thing also came to mind because you said you made it for Larry is that with raglans, it's kind of a forgiving fit to fit a lot of different body shapes, and that's also why I did choose it for, like, Viva is a unisex pattern, and Noble is as well.
Yeah.
So it was easy to make a garment that can fit like all types of body shapes comfortably.
Yeah, so whether you have a long torso or a short torso,
and like
broader shoulders, narrower shoulders.
Like for male bodies, usually the shaping difference is in the shoulder area, and they have wider shoulders, and it's also a deeper part of the body. There's more, you need more depth. So that's the reason why these two designs have a generous yoke depth.
Yeah.
To be able to fit all kinds of body shapes, and the design lines are not too obviously, because the design lines are not pointing at your shoulder, like they're not showing where your shoulder should be.
Yeah.
So it gives you that sort of freedom, as long as there's enough space. Because
if you have, a set-in sleeve that ends starts here, it's obviously not looking like it's fitting properly, right?
Exactly.
Whereas raglan, you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. So you can kind of fudge it a bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any recommendations for other resources? I'll just stop to say that everything that we've talked about will be linked in the description box below. So if you just have more and more, you'll see the show notes that we've put together for today with helpful links. But any other resources that you...
Well, I did bring a couple of books. I actually got this book before I designed any of my jumpers. So this is just a Ready Set Raglan by Pom Pom Publishing, and I think this is a really great starting point for top-down raglan jumpers, where you just want something fun, approachable, with a nice amount of variety as well. They have patterns in different yarn weights, with different raglan details and different neckline details, and it also goes through how you can customize them. And they have roughly the same fit across all of the designs, so if you like a sort of basic relaxed raglan that you can then make your own, it's a really good sort of starting point for that, I think. It doesn't really, like, if you're looking for exploring as many different types of raglans as you want, then this one is not great for that. It's kind of focusing on one type of raglan, but it's a great resource for that, and like sort of ideas source book as well. And then another one that I use as sort of a reference material when I'm designing as well is the Ultimate Sweater book, and it goes through different types of sweater constructions, and in the raglan section it does give you patterns, but it also tells you how to create the garment for your measurements. So it actually goes through step by step. Like if you want a raglan sweater, it tells you take these measurements, calculate these numbers, kind of like how to
and then based on gauge.
But this raglan instruction is very much based on seamed construction, because she's actually telling you how to tailor the fit. So she's recommending that you knit all the pieces separately and have the seams there, because that allows you to actually create especially for ladies with the bigger bust,
the bust shaping would be easier to do.
You can actually then easily incorporate the shaping that you need in the front,
yeah,
and have the higher back factored in and all of those things.
Yeah.
That you can do when you're working in the round, but because you're working all the shaping for all the 4 parts at the same time,
that would be,
it makes it a little bit tricky to keep track of everything. But if you're working them in pieces, then you're just dealing with like 2 of the
like half of the,
yeah,
or a quarter of,
yeah,
of the shaping.
so you're not
at the
getting
one time.
confused with all the other things
Yeah.
that are going on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought this has been really helpful.
I've
But yeah.
seen that book before, and I'm pretty sure I follow Amy Herzog on Instagram.
Yeah, but yeah, she goes through. I'll probably bring this book again for our next episode, because this book does cover like
All the different
other types as well.
So if you want to get ahead,
yeah,
you want to get ahead on the podcast, then pick that one up.
And then 2 other books are Elizabeth Zimmerman's.
Elizabeth Zimmerman Knitting Workshop.
Yeah, it's an old book and it doesn't have extensive grading. It's kind of giving you recipes of how to do it as well. In her own really funny sort of style as well.
Oh, good. I don't think I have any Elizabeth Zimmerman books.
No, they're really good. I really like her way of... She makes it really like approachable and simple, and kind of like, look, it's not that hard. You just do it like this, and there you go.
and just boom, magically it appears.
Yeah.
So sorry, you said the other one you said was Nalgar.
Yeah, so that's Raglan backwards.
Yeah.
And the Raglan line goes from here like that way. Like it goes out like that. But yeah, she...
Oh, that's in her pattern. That's Elizabeth Zimmerman pattern.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah.
And then the Vogue handbook, you know, the big ones.
Oh, yes, I have that one.
It's so big that I didn't bring it, but...
I've got one upstairs if we really need it.
I'm pretty sure there's a section of raglan sweaters in that as well.
Yeah.
And I do reference that book regularly as well.
Yeah, I think that's a great...
it's a good book
reference.
for anything, really. So.
Yeah, it's like encyclopedic without being overly encyclopedic.
Yeah.
Like some of the...
But it goes through like so many different aspects of knitting.
Yeah, it's very concise. Because there's some knitting books that are like, you could stun an ox with it.
I mean, that one's a big one.
It is big, but maybe it's big because it's like wide instead of thick.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, those are ones that come to mind. Have we confused everyone enough?
I know. I was like, are you ragland out? I hope you have enjoyed this technique deep dive, because it's been really fun to record it for you. If you've liked this episode, please give it a thumbs up and leave us a comment about what's your favorite raglan sweater.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Yeah.
And we're already looking forward to our next installment.
Yes. Yes, our year of sweaters. Well, until next time, everyone, happy knitting.
Happy knitting.